He's got the porch looking pretty good. He did a good job so far. And finds piers underneath that thing. No, they wanted.
I know, I saw the age.
57.
Fifth.
You know I don't trust you doing any of that stuff. Okay. Must be a
Do you need to plug into that?
Dennis not coming today?
Oh, no, he's not coming.
He's not?
Sorry, he told me that the other day.
He doesn't even tell me.
I should email you more.
Everybody
HDMI?
is gonna just like ignore you at the end of the day.
How you doing?
Perfect, thank you, sir.
There you go.
20 years that I've known you now, 15.
Yeah, she did. So,
You should have responded.
yeah, no, he didn't respond at all.
Yeah, and hopefully another 20.
Oh, you got it right here? Yep, she's telling you what to do, right?
Oh, okay, perfect.
What is he doing?
Yeah, no. I know. Who? Me? Oh.
He needs to dress like that for work. He's scared.
Work?
Yeah, he's scared, yeah.
Thought he retired.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Not yet.
Nobody's signing in, Laurie. Everybody's walking right by your sheet.
Yeah, that's mine. Here, be my guest. Yep. You can leave it right up there now.
Certainly not,
We're doing the tree tonight or next week?
Trees are done.
No, I know. We're
You
doing the tree
approved it.
tonight or we're doing?
No, next week.
Next.
2 weeks from now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I knew they were working. I saw them working on it, I just
Damn mask. I can't find one that like keeps me cool. You are? Is it vent on the side? And I can't wear glasses because it fogs up.
Well, that's what I like. If I put the fabric under my nose, it's better.
It's better.
Like,
And the
Church, I cannot
do your
find one.
straps adjust?
HPC,
That-
Hamilton,
Yeah.
and they have like, little filters you can dispose of.
Mhm.
I like it. Doesn't put me through breathing.
That's good. Does it adjust here? Or is it just a piece, straight piece?
It doesn't adjust.
I think
Because I found the ones that don't adjust, sometimes they're too short, like they pull on your ears a lot more than some of the
Yes.
other ones. So
My collection is growing all the time. I think the
try and
one
find
that-
just the right one
Yeah,
that fits.
having adjustable behind the ears is good.
Oh, what's the screen? Yeah, there it goes. Wow, what's the screen?
So you're gonna plant?
There, it's green now.
If Trustees.
DPW will plan them. I don't know if he put them in yet or
Yep.
not. We got the bill in here to pay for them, so,
Yeah, 14 of them.
yeah.
That's great.
So it's good. At least some.
You know where it
you know.
is?
So,
It's
would this
gone.
normally be a time of year when you do a pruning?
Seems to me that.
We had a Boy
They
Scout, we
kind of
finished it.
prune through
Remember
the
Bob Kraft?
season,
His son
like spring
finished it.
through fall.
How long
If they're
ago?
pruning,
Oh.
like individuals.
We
If
did the
we
bird
hire
preserve probably
somebody,
5 years ago,
Then
more.
it works off of like those grants and stuff or whatever, which we haven't heard from that grant yet. so- Which is the update of our inventory and stuff.
Broke off.
I asked everybody
I
where it
don't believe we've
was.
heard from them, no.
So I've.
Well, I thought you're
I
retired.
have a village tree, a younger one.
I'm here for you, Dan.
And I believe it needs to be pruned, because I think I've learned from Bart, like, the trees have one leader.
Right.
It has this other leader.
I've been down there crawling around my
He
hands
puts it
and
up there,
knees.
it's in your right, let me know.
Where's
So,
the bird preserve?
could somebody
Huh?
maybe
You thought it was
look
buried
at
down
it
there?
and tell me?
Yeah.
Because I think that this is one.
Yeah,
Nope. Down the
So
shop.
I should
Good.
email you to ask about that, or?
just to remind me.
We'll call the
Not
meeting
so
to
much that you
order.
have to.
First item is the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Actually, I'll just write your address down after.
Good
And I'll
evening, everybody.
remember to do it.
Any deletions, additions to the agenda? I have 2 under 9. There'll be a 9A court hire. And then 12C will be the annual Okra agreement.
I have a budget amendment that I need.
Okay. Number 14 will be a personnel matter, also an advice of counsel. We can do that under 4A. Lori?
My,
For your budget transfer?
That's fine.
Okay. Any other changes to the agenda? Okay. Next is meeting minutes of October 26, 2020.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes.
Moved by Mike, need a second?
Second.
Seconded by Pam. Any changes, deletions, additions?
There's a typo under Main Street facade grants. Their business facade.
Okay.
And I was wondering under roundtable when we talked about the pipes, if that was 10 feet pipes?
Three
10-foot.
10-foot
Three
sections.
10-foot
Yep.
pipes, okay.
And then Pat had let us know after the meeting that we had 3, I think, galvanized pipes up there that we weren't using, so.
Okay, and I just wondered if we had a way to put the people that tune in to this via virtually on our minutes. Are we meant to do that?
Can we put the people that are, like Casey last time was watching virtually? I don't know if we can do that
Not
or
from
not.
Box Cast, because there's no participation or anything, so I mean, if I can get it, I don't mind doing it. I did it with Zoom, I don't mind it whatsoever.
Okay.
If there's a list, there's not always, you don't always know who's there.
We don't know how permanent we'll be with this, and that's why I
This
asked.
Box Cast, I think, is permanent regardless of
Yes.
the open meetings. I think it's
Exactly.
for anybody.
Yeah.
This is not going away.
Yeah,
Because it's- this one is not
That's
a
why I say that.
participating,
Right here in front.
Okay.
She hear me?
No.
Right.
All right, any other changes? Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Somebody sitting here?
Abstract
here.
number 3, abstract number 9, dated today in the amount of $82,959.40.
Make a motion, we accept the abstract.
second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Dan, you went through?
Yes, I did go through.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next is Lori and Nizmek.
It's the resolution authorizing participation in the cooperative agreement purchasing we have with, it's with BOCES.
BOCES for our
We have-
energy.
It's a 3-year agreement, so we have one for natural gas, one for electricity. I don't know if you want.
Is it a
to do them.
resolution?
They're very lengthy.
So this is the same operating agreement that we've used in the past?
Yes, they basically put out for bid, gas and electric.
So it's a resolution authorizing participation in the cooperative energy purchasing NYSEG for natural gas and for electricity through 5G of the New York State General Municipal Law. So whereas the Village of Fayetteville is a municipal corporation and defined, the board wishes in this municipal corporation to become and remain a participant pursuant to the municipal corporation agreement for energy purchases dated the first day of May 2005, in the agreement among municipal corporations collectively identified by the New York School and Municipal Energy Consortium upon terms of the agreement, and further wishes to authorize participation as an energy consumer. Now therefore be resolved that this board hereby determines that it, in the interest of the Village of Fayetteville, to participate in the NYSEG and authorize the directs Mayor Olson to sign the agreement and for billing schedule agreements for electricity and gas on its behalf. Further resolved that the participant agrees to advertise said bids as may be directed by the administrative participant, and be it further resolved that all the officers and employees of the participant are authorized to execute such confirming agreements, certifications, and other documents such as take action necessary for appropriate carry out the intended resolution. The resolution shall take effect immediately, and this is the same thing that we've done year after year after year. Dick Kobar turned us on to this, and it saved us a fair amount of money in our energy and gas costs for the municipal
And
bid.
it's only for the village's energy consumption,
Right.
village, not,
Right, for our village hall, our fire department, our senior center, our DPW garage.
it's not a
yeah.
village-wide.
Okay. So we need a motion to go ahead and adopt those two resolutions.
So moved.
Moved by Dan, seconded by Pam. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4A, Lori, budget transfer.
Yes, we have, I need to have an increase to the, insurance recovery and an increase to the ambulance, for the repair of it, because we did get a check from the insurance company and we're gonna pay it right out for the ambulance, so I increase the revenue 82680 by 10,808.25, and the expenditure account 3411.4 by 10,808.25.
So moved.
Moved by Dan, need a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mike. Any discussion? Everybody understand what we're doing?
Mm-hmm.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And then, next is the retention schedule resolution. This is a new mandate from the governor that was signed into law. Talking to Lori tonight, there's a resolution. We really don't have a choice. It's a model resolution. We don't have a choice to not do this, but I asked Lori, I want to know, it says resolved by the Village of Fayetteville trustees, governing body of the Village of Fayetteville, the retention and disposal schedule of New York local governments LGS-1 and pursuant to Article 57A of the Arts and Cultural Affairs Law and containing legal minimum retention periods for local government records is hereby adopted for use by all officers in legally disposing of valueless records listed therein. Well, they don't give you that list of therein. So I'm not, I know we have to do it, but I'd like to know what the list is of what that is. So Lori's just got to do some research, and there's nothing to say we can't do this at the next meeting, but we have to get it done.
By January 1st.
And it, only those records will be disposed that are described in a retention and disposal schedule. No schedule. So I'd like a schedule before we just say yes to something. So anybody have any questions on that? Is everybody okay with us waiting to hear what?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. Highbridge Water Commons. So will you be presenting on behalf of the applicant, or Bruce, or Neil, or?
Bruce has got a presentation for us. Maybe I can just, before he starts, bring us up to date
Okay.
with the procedure. This started out at the planning board, started out here, was referred to the planning board, got a positive recommendation for the planning board, back up to the Village Board of Trustees, and at this point, it's, we had the public hearing, and my reading of the statute is, following a public hearing, the village board shall, by resolution, approve, disapprove of the code of conduct as presented, modified with or without conditions. So the next step that we have on the process is approval, disapproval, or approval with modifications from your board. We have heard the comments of the board all the way through, and Bruce is going to present a revised plan, which hopefully is in line with some of the comments that we've heard.
Greg, which one?
I can start with the changes in
The revision file?
Sure.
Could these people please say who they are? Could they
Yeah,
please
absolutely.
identify
Yes,
themselves?
yep, that's Neil Germain, he's the attorney on behalf of the developer. This is Mr. Scromo, and he is representing the developer from the engineering and site plan review, and this is Bruce from.
Bruce King.
King from Home Kings and Conquest, who's the architect.
Thank you.
So, we made a very straightforward modification of site plan. It pertains to comments from county and state DOT. Basically, we've reduced the hybrid driveway to a right-in, right-out. So there's only a right-in, right-out on Genesee Street, the right-in, right-out on Hybrid, and the access at the bottom of the site. Other than that, we don't have any comments, anything that the DOT has said that we're opposed to. They want some signage, they want to know if we're gonna limit the height access underneath the building. Of course we will. Won't be trucks allowed in that route. They want us to SWIP, they want a permit file, that sort of thing. So I think we're gonna address both county and state DOT's comments. FEMA's been addressed, SHPO's been addressed. So as far as I think the impacts from a site plan standpoint, I think from the agencies, we've gotten resolution to all those. I know there was some concerns previously relative to traffic. I think Bruce is gonna talk about the reduction in the size of the project. I think it's been a tremendous positive impact on traffic. To the point where right now, with what we're proposing is probably not any different or any significant difference between now and what was on the site a few years ago with a dry cleaner and a car wash and, an office and retail and that sort of thing. So, I think the change eliminated a lot of those impacts. And if the board has any other concerns. One of them was parking. I can talk a little more about parking. One thing to keep in mind is, so currently if the site has 121 parking spaces allocated on the site, per your code, it's approximately 200 that are necessary. Vast majority of those are sit-down restaurant. To kind of keep in mind, to keep in perspective, the restaurant is similar in size like Avicoli, Bo and the Bear, all of which have either 0 parking spaces that are theirs, or significantly less than this. It's a very high number that's stated as a requirement for the code. So that was one of the things that between that and the reduction in size of the project, and also the different nature of peak timing for the parking requirements, make it so that we feel we've got sufficient parking on the site at 121. Those are the changes since last time and some of the comments. If there's any other questions, I can answer them, and otherwise, Bruce, I think is going to go into the building.
The footprint of the outside of the building didn't change?
Did not change one bit.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Are we allowed to ask questions?
No, not yet, until we get through the presentation. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
Mousepad works really well, sorry. So the primary change, the big change, is in the height of the building. Our client has worked very, very diligently to determine a path that makes a smaller project viable on the site. So we've been able to eliminate completely one floor The proposed project now has 10,000 square feet of commercial space, as it did previously, and 30 apartments. So it is basically the same aesthetic as it previously was, a series of brick row buildings, which are all detailed the same, but will have different brick on each building so that they present an imagery of being built separately. And a gabled roof with dormers to allow the top floor to provide additional apartments within that 30 apartment number still, but look like a 3-story building. In this form, it's very similar to the 3-story row buildings in the lower village. It's actually a little bit shorter than them because our floor to ceilings on the apartment floors are a little bit lower. And from the parking lot side, perhaps the elevations can provide a little bit of sense of the height. Basically, commercial space, 2 floors of apartments, and then the top floor, which is developed with dormers pulled back from the edges, smaller number of units. One change that did occur in response to some of the comments that were made was the balconies on the west elevation, which were apparently slightly encroaching over the Hybrid Street line, have been pulled back and they're now flush with the building. So that question that was raised, you can see that in the lower right corner here where the balcony doesn't stick out as it does on the left corner. Lower level, 10,000 square feet of retail space, tentatively designated as restaurant and then other tenants. Second floor is a mix of 1 and 2 bedroom apartments with access to a roof terrace space, which you can see in the upper left corner. Third floor is very similar. And the top floor, and this is where the dormers come in, you can see on the Genesee Street side, which is to the top of the drawing, the apartments are pulled back from the edge to bring the height down and treat it as dormers. This floor has a couple of 3-bedroom apartments, a 1-bedroom apartment, and then the rest are 2-bedroom units. And as I say, it's a total of 30 units.
What was the total before you took the 4th floor off?
The total before was 41.
Thank you.
Yep. Roof. And I can answer any questions that you might have.
What is the height? Can you go back or now go forward?
Yeah.
That's what I
Thanks,
got
Bruce.
written down.
I'll tell you when to stop.
Okay.
I think it's your 3rd drawing down. Now you're going too far.
Yep. That's me and the mouse pad.
That one right above the
Yeah,
top one right there.
Right up at the top, huh?
Yep.
There we go.
One above that would give you the height of the building.
Let's see if I can read it on the
My
screen.
glasses are, my sight is terrible. I can't even read
Yeah,
that.
that's,
Yeah, I
I
can't
wanna
make it out
know
either.
that too.
Yeah, what does that say?
I wanna know that.
Hold on.
Let's see if we can,
Tried to read it on the email, couldn't see it at all.
What's the total square feet, while we're looking for this, the total square feet of the base?
of the base.
Yeah.
The footprint.
The footprint, yeah.
Including the drive lane, the drive-through portion.
Well, there aren't drive-throughs, but
Well,
If it goes through as a drive-through, okay.
Yeah,
God bless you, because that'll be a tough one.
Total footprint is,
Yep. 51 feet.
51?
51, okay. Total footprint of the, first floor, well, looks to me like, I don't have the numbers exactly in the way that would, answer that question. The footprint of the second floor, if that maybe helps to define it, is 15,610 square feet.
Okay, yep.
I don't have the differential
I
between
need
the
the
various
dimensions.
offsets.
I believe you, but how about dimensions?
Dimensions,
Thank you.
probably doable.
Thank you. Well, if you know the square footage, you're gonna know the dimensions.
Well, yes, that's, okay.
It was roughly 12,000 for the first floor, and then it went down from there.
Well, that's the enclosed space. I think Dan's looking kind of more for the overall.
Ted, at the last meeting when we met, we had 3 concerns that we wanted them to address. One, they have addressed with the high bridge, the right in and right out, and the traffic. They haven't addressed it, but they have obviously dealt with it in this drawing. Do you know the other 2 off the top of your head?
So if you got 120 by 100, that's 12,000, isn't it? And I don't know what it is.
That's what I thought, that was 12,000 something.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, the footprint without the lane, drive-through lanes, I do have that here. It's
Okay.
13,400.
How much?
13,400.
Yeah, but that doesn't give me the dimensions.
Right, exactly.
13,400?
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's 100, then it's 134 feet.
math
Oh,
teachers
can't do
I
it.
have a hard copy of this, 'cause it would be a lot easier to read.
It makes a difference, in my opinion, one of the things that makes a difference to me is this, obviously the size of it, but where that size is coming from. Is it coming from the east and west side, or is it coming from the north and south side?
Size of the first floor, size of the, like the first floor is bigger than the rest of it, because then it's got that rooftop terrace.
Yeah.
It's one of the things the planning board wanted was not as far as it could to the street line. So we were filling in that front half.
Okay.
Greg, do you know the dimensions? I can't find anything readable. I know I have something readable in the car.
My
Well,
site plan doesn't have.
We can answer that some other time if we have to.
Yeah, it's 200-ish, but I'm,
Yeah, I can measure it, I guess.
You know, if I look at the building, am I gonna see the majority of the square
we
footage
got a full set. That'll answer.
on the
Thank you, Mark.
north, on the north side or on the west side?
Okay, we have what we need here, I think. to answer.
Okay.
North-south is bigger than east.
Obviously, okay. All right, that's,
So the east and west faces are much smaller than the
but I'd
north
still
and
like to
south.
know those dimensions.
So,
Okay.
you wanna know how wide it is in the front?
Yeah.
All right, it is 236 feet along East Genesee Street.
Okay,
The depth along High Bridge is 95 at the first floor, and 66 at the upper floors.
okay, thanks.
There.
I'm gonna check it out.
Ted.
Thank you, Mark.
You got it, no problem. Ted?
Thank you.
So, yeah, there were 3 issues that the Board of Trustees left open when it did its seeker review back in July. The first one was whether or not the application is consistent with community plans. And the board was concerned with that issue. The second issue was whether or not the proposed project is consistent with community character, and the existing, with the existing community character. And then item 3 was related to transportation, whether the action would result in a change to existing transportation systems. And a component of that transportation issue is also related to the sufficiency of parking, whether or not the project as proposed has sufficient parking to address the development.
Okay.
So those were the 3
Okay.
issues.
Okay, good. So tonight's is more to get updated where we are. We've sent this to our engineer that's reviewing it. He still needs a little bit more time, but we will be ready on the 23rd to finish the seeker, go through our questions, and then make a determination on the 23rd. But while we have you here, I wanted to see if the trustees had any questions or comments.
Yeah, I won't be here on the 23rd.
So I apologize, but
I just had a question procedurally. On your engineer's review, I didn't know it was sent out, but will we receive it back in sufficient time for us
Yes.
to comment back?
yes,
before?
absolutely. He literally just couldn't get to it, and so he called me tonight before the meeting and said, I apologize, but I will get on it and I will get it done.
Yeah.
He did look briefly at it and said that he did see where, that it, the parameters, that's why I wanted to check Bruce. He said, I don't see that the parameters have changed, so that helps his review here, so.
Could you remind us where the entrance exit on Highbridge is? I seem to remember you guys bringing it back so it would be less of a nuisance to the traffic on Highbridge.
A little further south than Fitch Street is today.
Yeah.
So touching maybe 20, 30 feet further south than where Fitch comes out today. So in the general same location.
And that has just enough room for 2 car, 1 in, 1 out.
It has 2 12-foot lanes, and it will have a curved and brick island, so it will deter people from coming,
Oh, okay.
designed, so it's specifically designed to be a right in and a right out. So if you're coming down Highbridge heading south, you really can't turn in there. And I kind of say with a little hesitation because there's always that, crackpot that will try it. But it's very, it's not just striped, it's gonna be a curved island with, brick pavers, very, specifically delineated to be just a right in and a right out. So you won't be able to head left out of there and go south on Highbridge.
Right, yeah.
And you won't be able to come down, heading southbound Highbridge and take a left.
Gotcha.
So that wasn't in order to address stacking issues that are there. Because one of the concerns is that cars are stacked up on Highbridge heading north, trying to take a left into the site.
Absolutely.
And you can't. Now, if you want to take a left into the site, you better go down Thompson and take a left in. Which
Absolutely.
is far enough that you're not going to get trapped behind the cars at the light.
Thank you.
So if I'm heading west on Route 5,
Yes.
I can't technically get in there.
You can, because one of the things that DOT has recommended, and I think came up the last time, was to eliminate that left turn on Highbridge. Left turn from Genesee.
So you'd have to take a left onto Highbridge and then a left onto
So you want to
Thompson.
take away the teacup that we now presently have?
No.
Yes, they do.
Yes, he
They'll be able
does.
to turn left on Highbridge.
He wants to
Well,
turn
when I
left
think of
on
the teacup, I
Highbridge.
think of going
Oh.
to Limestone Plaza, that's a teacup.
Still
Yeah.
coming from
That's a teacup, the
Limestone
one we
or
stopped is not a teacup.
And that's
from
up to-
Genesee?
That's up to DOT in the village. We're not even asking for that.
Okay, that's what
But that was
you're
one of the
saying,
comments
right,
that
Dan?
DOT
You think
had
that,
was that,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
I-
remember Betsy mentioning that.
I
Yeah,
appreciate,
Betsy Parmer.
no, I appreciate the idea of right in, right out. I think that's great, right in, right out. I just don't know how people are gonna get to some of those right in, right out.
well, then they don't come. Or you come from a different direction,
Okay,
They can go to Thompson Street and go in the parking lot, can't they? You just said?
I'm sorry, what's that?
They can go to Thompson Street and turn Thompson Street and go into your parking lot?
Yes, yeah.
So there's not,
they can?
it's not a right in and right out
Okay.
on
Yeah,
Thompson
Thompson
Street.
Street.
okay, so,
Cool,
all right, be all right there.
No, so it's one of those things,
Yeah, just go a little
so
farther.
What it does is it makes it, it's gonna make it unappealing to some users.
Yeah.
You're not gonna, you're not
Yeah,
gonna
because-
have, Dunkin' Donuts is not gonna ever wanna go in this site. I can tell you that.
Yeah, okay.
But it limits anybody's fear. I mean, and that's sort of That's okay with our client. Our client is not looking for that type of tenant,
Okay.
that type of use. That has not, you know, in this project scenario, that's been pretty much, you know, off the table. When I approached him, I said, look, you know, everybody wants to make that hybrid thing a later, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. You know,
Okay.
You're talking about tenants, you're talking about fine dining, you know, people will, you know, they're not in a hurry to get in and out of this place. This is not one of those things.
Any other questions, Pam or Dan?
Oh, I think that's good.
Mike?
No, that's good with what they're telling, what they asked.
I have two. Mr. Talbot is not, is he still not affected? He can go through and cross and,
Absolutely, he has a right of access, and if I remember right, we've got some, things we actually get to share some of this parking or something we never take into account. But no, we're not impeding his access at all. If you look at the site plan, he has a drive aisle adjacent to every one of his parking spaces that's legit, you know, legal, conforming, so it's.
he can get in and out without any feathered.
You know, no impediment whatsoever.
Is that your, is that your impression?
That's one subject. Greg, you mentioned something about parking. I don't know anything about what you just mentioned, so.
And, well, you gave us something last time, it had some kind of a shared access parking type of agreement, there was a easement on there. Yeah.
That's a fact, yep. You have
Yeah.
access to 4 of my spots, and I have access to all of your spots. We also have easements in and out of Fifth Street, which I like, we're talking about, that's a different point.
Well, you have access to the driveway, that's fine.
Thank you. But the other thing, Mayor, and this is a question I'm wondering what this board, maybe this is not the right place, but one of the things that goes back to 1997, that I mentioned in the letters in 06 all the way through last year, is about this green space issue. And I like the fact, I think we all do, of improving the corner. So God bless you guys for making a solid effort. Front improvements, all of it'll help, but nothing's being done on the backside. So all the requirements that we were required to uphold, adding green space, making sure green space couldn't go away, which is why that lower right-hand green on that building of ours that moves into their property, I don't believe, and I've been advised that I'm correct, that can't be paved. That has to remain green.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna have just a small impact, but again, giving us part of that requirement that we were obligated, and would hope and respect that would continue on for this project. So if you look at all that parking, if you look at what 117 Ivory Street was and the green that was there, that's all gone. So now there's no green. But I don't know if the Board of Trustees is in a position to put some of these requests to change now, or if it goes, I have no idea. But I know you were a part of it in the
Right.
beginning,
Right.
making us do something in 1997, and I'm really hopeful that we put that same effort today
Right.
for the new.
And if I can address some of the green, this building line, this property, this paving line here is approximately where the front of the building is today. This is all asphalt today, every bit here. We've got landscaped islands here, here. They will all have trees in them. This is going to be landscape with trees. This is all landscaped in here. This is all pavement in here. This will all be landscaped, paved, and green. So right now, when you've got asphalt to go right to the sidewalk that comes around the creek walk, that's all going to be landscaped. This plan doesn't show it in that kind of detail just yet,
Right.
you know, but it will.
Okay.
This is all pavement here. Every stitch of this here is pavement for the access to the old dry cleaner. That's all gonna be grass and brick and trees and that sort of thing. So it's not that we don't, you know, we don't have landscaping, it's not a field. But it will be significant.
I think Mr. Talbot's is a little different because of the situation, and I think it was Mayor Lannon, I think I remember reading in the minutes, or Mayor Losman, I can't remember which one, but.
To Greg's point
Yeah.
about what the street side, so all of Thompson Street was paved, Greg. When we bought that property, we were required to make the front all green, take away all parking out of the front. We were also required to put a green burn around our building, which is a great idea. So I'm now in a position as a property owner on the corner and can be looking out at all parking. I don't believe that's in the best interest of me and our property, nor what the village tried to, did make our property better for that reason.
Okay. Good. I just wanted to make that, because you're here, and I wanted to make that clarity, because you are adjoining.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah. And then the other one is parking. When you say, my experience with parking is we've had it here, when Bull and Bear came in, and then the tenants used that park and they couldn't find a spot, and then we ended up having to put up signs, tenant 1, 2, 3, and 4, which were always, had to do with haulers, but it came back to light. So I mean, you say parking and 145 versus 200, I think that's got to be at least looked at to see exactly, fine tuning a little bit more, because it's been kind of a tough one for us. Even in Limestone Plaza, we bought Stack's Hospital for Pets for additional parking because we knew the plaza was growing, and the apartment complex project didn't go through, but you know, parking's always something that we have to look
Yeah,
at.
and I think that, you know, and I'm sure that will be, if it gets to the planning board, will be discussed in great detail.
Mhm.
I didn't mean to say that there's no parking issues anywhere.
Nope.
What I was insinuating was that comparatively, we have a significant amount more parking spaces than either of those two places probably combined.
I would agree.
And it's not the same kind of use.
Right.
Those are denser, higher,
Right.
you know, turnover, you know, bigger car, maximum parking, you know, sit down restaurant. So it's not, what I'm trying to say, it's not, you know, it's a village. We're not in town center. You know, we're not in, you know, in that
Mhm.
area of town. We're in the village. It's a little different animal.
No. And I know the planning board chairman has made a comment that parking doesn't concern the planning board at this time.
Yeah,
So-
I think now it's definitely more concerned. If you look, yeah, I think we're significantly, you know, going in the right direction with the parking, with the reduction.
So at the 23rd, between now and the 23rd, our engineer will get with you and review that. Ted will be in the position to finish the secret review and then make a determination on this application with any other public input that we need. But in the meantime, too, and I'm going to ask our planning board chairman to be here at the meeting, because the planning board did approve this to go to this next step. So I want to talk to the planning board chairman, having the planning board chairman here and give us their input and their thoughts of why they said yes to 5. Now it's 4. I want to make sure that they're comfortable with 5 going to 4, which I know Ted has reviewed, and it doesn't have to go back to the planning board, but I want the planning board chairman to weigh in that we have taken it from 5 to 4, and that there's no
Should we
significant.
Get the planning board chairman a copy of the recent submittals?
I think Karen did send them to him, but I'm not sure, but we'll check, absolutely.
Check them every
Yeah.
time, we'd be happy to provide additional copy. Yeah.
Okay, good.
May I ask?
This is-
information, a point of information?
Point of information only, but not a question of the board. This is just for the board to get updated. We'll have time for questions at the next meeting. So,
My questions are, in terms of the environmental impact review, the seeker review, there's more materials, I believe, as of our last news, that need to be submitted by the applicant, such as, and I wonder if they have been, or what's the status. We need input from Department of Transportation comments as to the project. We need to have the flood report was done, but I don't think that the part 1 of the EAF has been updated, basically, to provide all the information about the current proposal. The last version of the part 1 of the EAF was 2018. It's changed very significantly. We need questions that Mr. Kinsella was asking about dimensions, square footage, and so forth. That all information has to be provided on part 1 of the FEAF. I don't think anything's been submitted, at least not, it hasn't been provided publicly that way. I've foiled and foiled and got
it has
nothing.
not been, but we have the original documents that need to be updated between now and the next meeting. You're correct.
And
There has
we'll-
nothing been resubmitted on the secret side other than these drawings that after the meeting, you're more than welcome to have a copy of that.
Beautiful. And finally, there's a question that was, I want to specifically flag, that was ignored, I think, in the part 1 of the FEF previously, was about the brownfield cleanup program, the site contamination, and specifically very porous soils underground. which the stormwater system, if you're proposing to put that all underground, very poor soils, I think, that for the environmental review, more info needs to be provided about the storm drainage. And I think it's required, should be required, that there's advance opportunity to review these materials by the public and trustees, not just wait and have everything dumped on us at the 23rd meeting. I think, so that's what I would like to.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much, appreciate it. Number 7, Dan, IMA for the deer culling with the town of Manlius.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna do the same thing that we did last year with the town of Manlius with regard to the deer culling.
Okay.
Is that all right with
So
everyone?
you need a motion to?
Yeah, I do.
Have the mayor execute the IMA with approval of council for the
I make that motion.
2020-2021 deer culling program. So it's
Second.
moved by Dan, seconded by Mike.
Thank you,
Any
Bruce.
questions?
We're going to have a
Welcome.
deer meeting tomorrow night, so.
Good.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Pandemic mandate review. So part of the new mandate from the New York State government, which people aren't going to fall down, I agree with. But you have to come up with a COVID planning team. And this planning team needs to meet immediately to review our standalone plan and specific to the public health emergencies. And it's not just COVID related, but it's basically, everything to do with pandemics and everything to do with public policy. So I'd like to form a COVID planning team, which will include Lori for finance, Pat for DPW, Paul for fire and EMS, myself for the village government, and then Paul, do we have an emergency operation person?
Nope.
Anybody that we have that you might think could bring some help to the committee? It's just, there can be the 4 of us in the beginning, but,
Nope, I have my own setup, so when you declare a pandemic, medical director comes in,
Okay.
and I have a management team that performs.
okay. So if you think of anybody that we might, just help us from that policy. So Lori will be sending out invitations for a meeting. We'll have it hopefully in the next few days, and we can start this process to make sure that we comply with the mandate that the government, that New York State government is applying for us. So, okay.
The next one.
Next is the live stream boxcast policy. Did anybody have any changes? Now, again, my
I had one change.
draft was not, I'm not the policy whereas and whoever's and,
So I would put a period here,
okay.
and
Mike, I
then,
can't hear you.
okay. So on the policy, on number 2, it says the Tree Commission, Historic Preservation Commission, and Parks Commission will have the option of live streaming their meetings, period. It will be used if they are reviewing an application, because it says unless they're reviewing it. So just make it clear
Okay.
that if they're reviewing an application, that it will be used, not, just
Right.
takes away any guesswork, that's all.
Okay.
That's the only thing I saw, particularly at this point anyway.
And we have set up a like tonight, that it automatically turned on at 5:55, and it turns off, you're used to this, and it goes off, it's going off automatically at 8 unless we're done before that, then we turn it off. And Lori is doing that for us tonight. So, any other changes to this policy? Okay, so I'd like to make a motion that we adopt this effective immediately as a Village of Fayetteville boxcast policy for the use of our new system.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any-
So this means that everything we do here is gonna be broadcast,
Mhm,
but we don't know who's watching.
correct.
I don't know that for sure. I think you can see some, I'm not sure 100% you can see everybody. But, I'll find out.
Once again, I just, as I said before, I love to see people here. I don't, faces out there don't mean anything to me if I don't know who they are, what they're thinking, what they're saying, whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
This is great, and I do think it would be good to have people in attendance. But because there is an interactive feature, I believe the town has struggled with that a little bit, and maybe they're considering some options for how to do that, questions in advance perhaps, something like that. So if we you know, could consider that, I think that would be good.
Yeah.
Because as someone who likes to ask questions,
Understood, yeah. No. Again, I think Dan's right. I mean, we want people here too, but we also want, if they're gonna watch and they're taking the time to watch, then they should be able to, you know, maybe there's a way too that they can type in a question during the, and we could, because I know, Laura, you're watching, right? Correct? So maybe there's a feature that we can have where they can type in a question. So, because you were gracious enough to call last time, which I appreciate, because we wanted to make sure it was working, so.
and it is so much better in terms of hearing.
Yeah, I think you guys are ordering these, right, or did order them? Yeah, so.
Is there not a way for a person when they sign on that they type in their name and then it's,
I think that's what Lori's gonna
Yeah,
review.
I'm not-
Yeah.
Karen is much more versed in this, and so, but I will find out.
yeah, and it's not as important that if they view it later on, right? It doesn't matter if we record that, just if it's
No, I
on the
would never
night of.
record that because
Yeah.
that's, no.
We don't care who views it later, or it's not mandatory. Okay.
So if there are 15 people watching this right now, and they just heard that presentation from the program down below, how do we know what they're thinking?
You're asking questions.
I know what
you
I'm
don't
thinking.
know.
Right.
No, I'm
And I
just-
think that's
I'm
your
asking-
point
I'm
last
just-
time.
I'm
that,
just-
you know.
No, I'm not asking you, sorry, Lori, I meant
Oh, yeah,
just
I
in
know.
general, just something in general.
Okay.
I mean,
This is not,
I-
there's no perfect system.
No,
You
I know
Zoom
that.
isn't perfect, this isn't perfect. In person is a perfect system.
There
But
you
if
go.
people are not
There
going
you
to make
go.
the effort to do it, then guess what? We're doing the next perfect thing we can, and I will say it to the camera, perfect is being here and asking us questions.
there you go.
This is the most
Thank you.
perfect
I
way
mean,
we can do it without you
If-
being here.
If you have a real, then somebody, I don't wanna hear somebody when I'm walking around the streets, have somebody say, well, I watched it and I didn't agree with this or that or this or that. And I said, well, why weren't you there to say?
Like, right now, I can tell you there are 2 active viewers and 4 live viewers. I'm
4 what?
guessing There's 4 live viewers and
Okay.
2 active viewers.
Okay,
I'm guessing I'm one of those active viewers, and more than likely Karen is
Yes.
home watching, and she's an active
oh,
viewer.
Karen, oh, check it out.
Checking it out.
Yeah.
Again, we're the second meeting in. This
Okay.
is gonna take some time to get done, but I think the purpose of this was to get the people that couldn't come, or the people that weren't comfortable coming, the ability to watch what's going on. So,
I would like to just make a point. I totally, for myself, I like to come to person, face-to-face meeting. I understand people that are vulnerable to COVID and various things, there's reasons why people need another number. But regardless, the point about how people ought to either submit questions in advance, or they ought to come if it's something that they really are interested in. I think a big problem, a big thing that's really not fair about asking citizens to take that on is that, for example, we don't get information in advance about what you're gonna talk about. I looked at this agenda, Highbridge Waterside Commons. What? Don't know there's gonna be a presentation, don't know what's on the agenda. There is nothing posted online about anything that is submitted by the developer, and I will say,
Excuse me,
That's
I
not
just want
true.
to say that this was, I love having it embedded in here.
Right.
I thought it was great.
and that's not true. That policy, that right there, that thing that Bruce was looking at is online. That presentation is online.
well, it wasn't.
It was online when, as soon as they sent it to us, it was on.
I believe it got put on last
Yep,
Thursday or Friday.
That's true, and the agenda was posted on Thursday. So it was on Thursday or Friday, so it gave people plenty of time to look at that, so,
I just want to say, I do
Yep.
like your comment.
yes.
Yes.
Don't
Okay.
get me wrong, I think it's a great idea what we're doing here. But I really like to know what those people sitting out there are thinking or saying to themselves.
And
So,
and
mean,
I've said this before.
I think it's great. that-
Yeah.
I
This
wish,
was-
I wish that I could give every resident in the village where a newsletter gets delivered a test to see if they read it.
He's such a teacher.
Because Mike and I are big opponents of whether it's a good idea to have that, and they just throw it away. I'm sorry, Mike, I'm speaking for you.
Dane, I've been coming to board meetings for 15 years, and even on our budget hearings, we don't get any more than a handful of people. I mean, they're not gonna, they don't come,
Right.
you know?
I'll
Whether
tell
they,
you.
whether they agree with what's going on or not, they just don't come.
Somebody who lives where I do, out in Madison County, this works out great for me, especially the position I'm in now.
Great.
I can hear you guys, I can then ask questions to Lori the next day as department head.
Yeah.
It helps, because there's sometimes I will not make these meetings,
Yeah.
due to weather or whatever, some of the
Yeah.
wintertime things, I just couldn't make them.
Well,
You
I
texted
like
me
it.
last meeting. You were texting me during the meeting.
I like
Tell me-
the idea,
And
I
that's why I'm
just,
here today, I don't wanna, I understand the questions about the texting, the calling, it was interrupting the
Yeah.
meeting. To me, I was just trying to give you some of my advice of what was happening there,
Yeah.
but, you know, to your questions here, my daughter lives in Vermont. There's a lot of rural places up in Vermont, they've been webcasting their meetings for years
Mhm.
because of the same thing.
Yeah.
And to your point, Danny, I think that if we get by this craziness of COVID, maybe this will bring people in that have been watching and saying, hey, there are things going on, I ought to come down and sit here and see what's going on. I mean, your limitations are so poor right now, you know.
come down
You
for the
just
fun time that we have here.
I've been part of this too for 40-plus years
Right.
of different things, and I think it works out well, but like Mark says, there's no perfect system, that's for sure.
But again, this was planned for before COVID. This was in January, we were deciding to do this before COVID, so. Yes, Tom?
One comment from the outside is the information that's available, and you were 100% correct, Mayor. It's all there, and I didn't find it as quick as I thought. You know, I wasn't really sure what I was looking for, but it's all there. Everything that was presented tonight is there, and you've got a separate section for both this project and the one at 547. So if anybody really wants to drill in, it's
Yeah.
a
We've
lot
got,
of
yeah,
information.
we've got some room to fix it, but it's,
Good work.
we're trying. Okay, all in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next is, I got an email from Judge Hughes today at 11 o'clock. Mark, please accept this request to hire Bridget McHale on a temporary basis for 2 hours twice each month to be present for the first part of the regularly scheduled village court session. This is a temporary hire. Once Jeff Lewis returns, her assistance will not be needed. We expect Jeff to return within the next month. She's not performing any direct security function, but is covering administrative tasks related to pandemic, contact tracing, COVID questions, and temporary checks. We can cover the expense out of the funds that would be paid to Jeff. We have suggested $30 a night for her salary for the court, and that would be fine. So we need to make that in form of a
So moved.
motion. Moved by Dan, seconded by Pam. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Michael, code update. I think you gave everybody a packet tonight?
Not every,
Oh.
Dennis and yourself.
Okay. I'll share it with Mike, and I'll give this one to Pam and Dan.
Just an update for permit monthly, did 69 permits from the January 1st department. Permit fees 12,514. An evaluation of 2,093,662. 70 complaints, 6 open.
Out of the 6 open, is it just timing issues, or is it resolution issues, or
All the
court issues? Okay, okay. How is that compared to a year ago? Like year over year?
Complaints probably average, permit fee, permits about average.
Okay,
Fees may be down a little bit because there's some extra large projects going on.
mm-hmm,
Valuations,
right. Yeah, because you can't count the senior center, even though it's in here, it doesn't go towards your valuation because it's the village project.
right.
Plus, we had the Honda dealership, I think, right, in last year or 2 years ago? Okay. Okay. Any questions about codes or comments? Anything coming out of the state with changes to the code or anything that we need to know about from the pandemic side, or?
As far as the pandemic side, just
They're not doing any, like, the court has all new rules upstairs. I didn't know if the state came out with new rules for you for site visits, or?
not really.
Okay.
I just have one question in regards to the Chinese restaurant down here that's doing a drive-through, which we don't have drive-throughs in the village. I understand it's because of COVID. Is it prudent to send them a letter just to acknowledge the fact that we know they're doing it because of COVID, and yet we're not going, it's not setting some kind of a precedent to continue once issues get resolved in general, or what do you?
I think that's a good idea.
Think about it, I don't know.
Well, no, I think it is, but I gotta remember that Ryan McMahon sent out an executive order about outside dining and about, and I don't know if it
Drive-ins
covered
and stuff.
drive-ins
Okay.
or
So
drive-throughs.
it's something we may want to look at or
Right, I
whatever,
mean, that was the old
that's all.
Pudgy's Pizza, and all they did was open the window up, and has anybody been down there? I mean, there is, like, it
No,
comes out,
sometimes
and
there's
it comes
lines
in,
and
and you
lines
just,
of
they have a little
people.
microphone, and there's no there's like, they are as shut off as you can be, they just don't want you coming in the lobby.
Right, no, and I'm
Yeah.
not opposed to what they're doing at
Yeah.
all because of the
Right.
situation. I just wondered if they need some kind of information that's not going to continue if
Only for
our,
the duration
if
of
our
the
lifestyle
business.
changes sometime in the future.
Absolutely.
It's
I think
not right
that's-
away, but I don't want to make it become an issue of compliance later on that's going to be a problem.
Let's
to
review what
enforce.
his executive order said, because I know it had to do with outside, they wanted us to loosen the regulations so that we could get people outside and people doing things.
Did the governor today restrict indoor eating up to?
We're not in yellow yet, but he said the town
Well,
is going to be
Syracuse
yellow
is,
soon,
but,
so
yeah.
if it does, then that will take, it's no more than four at a table. Churches at 33%, I think it were 50%, something like that. There was a bunch of bullets, it's on Syracuse.com. So, but we're not there yet, we're still,
squeaked out.
yeah.
So far.
But Ryan said manliness is next. We must be on the cusp or on the edge.
Well, DeWitt isn't in there either because that's where we were tonight, it's Holy Cross, and we're just
Okay.
over the line with Syracuse.
Okay, good.
There's one other issue, I think we need to add to the MSCs would be, fire charging stations.
Yes, because of the fire, plus, they're not inspected, correct?
Right.
Okay. Can you give me a draft and we'll put it on the next agenda? And that's confirmed? The start of,
Indirectly, yeah, so
Okay.
finally the written report, but.
okay,
It was from, that's what it was from, huh?
on Euclid.
Wow.
So that wouldn't be a regular electrical current anyway?
It falls in that little gap. Yeah, you would think that if they're doing a solar in a car, that it would be part of, it fell in a little bit of a gap.
Does it make a difference if it's inside a garage or outside?
We're gonna make sure it doesn't, so, because we need to,
Go to that,
yeah.
to the 2018 or 2020 code, so start doing chores when you're not getting permits to inspect.
Yeah,
Hold on.
yeah. Yeah, see now, my brother in Annapolis, he had to put his outside. He couldn't charge his car inside, he had to go outside with the car charging station. So he had to have a guy run a conduit for him and put it outside. Okay, fire department, trustee Kinsella, any applications?
None. Oh,
Purchases?
None. Part-time hire. Another part-time hire with Bob Paddock. He's a retired chief out of Ilion. Paramedic instructor, it's his brother we hired last month. This is he wants to come work part-time for us, the same rate.
So we need a motion.
Yep.
Moved by Dan, need a second?
Second.
And that's at the part-time rate?
Yep.
Okay. Any questions? All in favor?
hi.
Aye.
Opposed?
And then, you gave me permission to hire 2 full-time employees. I'd like to put forth Connor Riggs as a full-time employee that has to go to the fire academy, and Aaron Costello, who's a lateral transfer from Ilion. Both have accepted the offers given to them at the probationary rate with 52 weeks of probation.
All right, let's do them separately.
Let's do them separate.
Yep. So first, we'd like to make a motion to hire Aaron Costello, start date in December of 2020 at the contract rate with a probation period of 52 weeks. Need that in the form of a motion?
I do, I make the motion, I've got a couple questions.
Okay.
Second.
Moved and seconded, so go ahead.
So, he's going to the academy?
No, this
Aaron's
one's
not.
Aaron's not, he's a lateral
Oh, okay.
transfer.
All right, okay. And we're doing Aaron now?
We're doing Aaron.
Yeah, okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next is Connor Riggs.
So move.
Start date of December 14th and a 52-week period at the state start contract rate.
Second.
Moved and seconded.
He needs to go to the academy.
He needs to go to academy.
Okay, so now, he's going to the academy, so we have to pay him while he's there. We have to pay for the academy. And is that part of the 52 weeks?
Yep, from the day he gets hired.
Yes.
Okay, it's not, so the 52 weeks doesn't start when he goes on duty the
No.
first time?
The day he gets hired. The good thing is the academy's gonna start in January, February. So it's a short window versus if he didn't start until July. So, as long as he graduates that and gets his 229, we don't have to do a dual agreement like we have done for Kozak, and
Right.
he'll have all this stuff.
So, what account do you take that out of?
Training probably. Legal funds to make it happen, I guess, I haven't figured it out.
Right. Okay.
Did Mounds
We're
get,
not gonna
did,
commingle funds to make it happen. It's gonna come out of the 3410.4 and training. Yes.
did Chief Mounds get back to you?
Did who? No,
Chief Mounds, okay.
not yet.
Ben's back in quarantine. The mayor, I talked to the mayor of the city of Syracuse. They have an upcoming class. We're trying to see if we can work out an IMA with the city of Syracuse training, because they have a class starting. He said he would check again. He asked. So-
It's just a matter of, they're just starting their canvas process.
Right.
So he doesn't know how many people he's gonna have in his class.
Mhm.
I'm confident he'll reach back out to me if he's gonna be able to do this for us.
Right.
If not, Montour's gonna have an academy at probably about the same price.
No, I know. It's just be nice to have somebody close and local.
Syracuse is close, so
Right.
don't have to worry about room and board.
And I think it
all
would be
that.
nice to show,
Yep.
you know, we've done a lot for the city. It'd be nice to have something back.
And
Between
they're on-
salt
they are
and
totally on
our tier
board with
committee and our
doing
fire
stuff
engine that we
together.
sold them, and the list goes on and on.
Yeah, the room and board, that's a good deal.
Yep.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Anything else, chief?
No, we're just investigating the Santa. We usually take Santa around on Sunday. At the end of the year, we're toying with doing a drive-through like we did for Halloween. Maybe just put Santa here and having bags to hand out, and let people drive through
Okay.
instead of going around in the fire truck, so. That's one of the ideas we're throwing around there.
Okay. Thank you. Anything for the fire department?
Oh, good.
Okay, trustee Small, DPW.
Okay, so we have our open projects list. The tree at 109 Woodmansey Lane is coming down because they've had another sewer issue there. Is that sign pad, or do you know if that?
Yes.
I have it
It's all
signed.
signed, okay. So that will be coming down. We talked about that last meeting.
There was a question from the homeowner on that, and I know you asked me about it. The homeowner had previously got a hold of Bartlett, thinking it was their tree, and they were gonna have it taken down. That's where the confusion came, whether they were gonna pay or the village, but it is deemed a village tree, so that's why we went after a quote for ourselves to get that done.
Okay.
What did they give you a price on it?
600 and something.
Same price they gave them? I just wanna make sure because.
Well, there's a different price, because they have to have it hauled away, where it's our tree, we haul it away, we stump it and everything, so changes the cost.
Number 2, we've talked about the sidewalk at the Mott Road and the east side of, or the finishing Genesee Street and Mott Road in the past, Limestone Bishop Brook.
We just need to get, we had the IMA with the town, we just need to get the Wellington House signed off. So we just need to get that, because we have time between now and the spring to get that
Is,
done.
who's gonna talk with the people up on Dabney Mott Road, that last house up there?
That, they've been, we met with them,
Okay.
with Matt, the engineer, and we went through all that, and then we just needed Russ to sign off.
Yeah.
They would actually come to a meeting if I said, you don't need to do this.
Yeah,
They,
because that's the only significant area that's gonna need
Yeah.
work done when
Right.
we get up there.
yep.
The Limestone Bishop Brook grant that we've been working on, restoration, will be ongoing, obviously.
Gonna go out to bid in
Nothing new
January, yep.
on that. The same with the bridges on Walnut Street and West Franklin Street. The same with Ledyard Dyke, the weeds and the bridge at the 92, Route 92. And also they cleaned out the dike, we talked about that last meeting over by Dan's, down Lincoln and,
It's full. Yesterday I
From
drove
the-
by, I couldn't believe it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's full.
Well, yeah, because the people that live along it blow the leaves in there.
Are you doing the senior center meeting? I made to do this, say this now. Senior Center project, we've had hired Gary Way to come in and work on the porch and some of the work that needs to be done there at a lesser rate than we've been able to have somebody else do the work for. Holiday lighting, the trees have been started and decorated, maybe they're completed now, but we fixed the strings that we needed to, or bought the things we needed to.
Just so you
Still
realize,
have
the
more.
bucket truck went down when they were decorating the big one. It's out to get serviced. Hopefully we'll get it back in time. If not, I may be looking to you guys to rent a lift. We have the Villages of Manlius right now down below.
Okay.
But we might need a higher lift to get up into the tree farther.
Will Bartlett help us out?
What's that?
Bartlett help us out?
They did over
Okay,
here.
they did,
Yeah, they
okay.
do majority of the very top,
Okay.
but we still have quite a bit that the normal lift, small lift won't reach.
Okay. Can we do the towns with the Village of Manlius one?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We just wait till the last thing in the town street, that's all.
I didn't even know we did that.
You did add it at one point.
Oh, God. Well,
That's all
you
right.
guys are welcome. So,
Leaf season began on October 9th and continues. As if you drove around the village, you'll see a ton of leaves and things out.
yeah. You were, yeah.
And we talked, and it's on here that we talked last time about Kinsella's accepting some of the leaves and putting some at the Do Good Reservoir site. The street signs that we installed on South Burdick Street, the Do Not Enter signs, have been moved to hopefully eliminate some of the confusion about where they were and where the stop sign is and things like that. They're still not perhaps 100%, but we'll give it some time and see if we need to add further directions to those signs or see what happens with the drivers that drive there. There's really not a cure
No.
for that situation. The only cure would be to come down Byron and have it go one way in either direction on South Burdick Street, but
I shake my head because
even
we
that
were
wouldn't
there.
be a cure because people just ignore what they see and drive through it.
We were there and three cars literally just drove her right through. I
So-
mean, we're there in the middle of the road, looking at signs,
I was
talking.
down there today holding up my camera phone, taking pictures of people looking at me and just zoop.
Goes back to
Yeah.
what Mike always says, you cannot regulate.
That's what I did. I
Courtesy.
sat on Thompson and watched them go through.
Yeah. So we're working, it's
There
a,
was a vehicle delivery truck from Romano, went down there and then tried to turn left on High Bridge.
Oh,
Stopped
oh, yeah.
on both sides. He made the corner by doing some K-turning, but it was like really ridiculous.
yeah.
If you
It's
guys
terrible.
noticed that the brand new pole that they put in at the corner of Thompson and South Burdick
Yeah.
has been starting to get chewed off again by big trucks trying to make turns there.
Yeah.
That's what happens every time when they come around that
We,
corner.
we gotta figure that out. There's
Well-
gotta be. People on High Bridge are not happy.
Well,
Okay, well, let's look at it.
we're open to any suggestions that anybody might have for the area because it's certainly a difficult area to work with and work
Yeah,
through.
take them down.
You make a few people happy and you make a few people sad, so that's kind of life. OSHA training with PERMA will be 11/23 for the DPW. That got postponed because of the numbers of people taking the training.
Yeah, the new number's 10 if we get put into yellow, just so you know, or
Yeah.
25, excuse me. So,
Right-of-way permit we're working
yeah.
on.
That'll be on, Pat, I'm gonna put that on the next agenda, so you and I can meet before that, and we'll get that worked out.
And then, as far as parks, a new path from Cashin Drive to the play area will be installed at Colder Park. That's coming up.
At some point next.
Okay.
Yep, as far as purchases, the brine machine and truck fill station needs a pre-season service at a cost of $1,900, so make that in the form of a motion.
Okay. Moved by Mike, need a second?
Second.
Second by Pam. Any
Where's this,
discussion?
Mike?
This is the brine machine.
The brine machine and truck
Okay,
fill
fine.
station to
Need
be
this.
serviced before the winter gets here.
I signed those two.
Did I miss it?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And then
Any-
cell phones, Pat, you got on here?
The brine machine on?
It's at the top, Dan, purchases.
Oh, sorry. Okay, what's this path? But didn't we get there yet?
We didn't get there yet.
Well, path that from Cashin Drive to the play area, that's in the part of their plan.
The Parks Commission requested a stone dust path to come off Cashin Drive to walk down to the park where the playground area is. Alls it is grass right now, and they requested me to put in a stone dust path to go there.
Does it start where the fence, that little
The fence
wooden
is- the fence will be
broken
coming out.
thing,
They
yeah,
asked
that
me to
broken
take that
thing?
out and then but it's just a matter of timing to get down there, we're doing leaves like
Okay,
crazy, so.
all right, yeah, all right.
That's what it's about.
Yeah, do the leaves. We'll get the pass.
The cell phone is just, my phone's starting to act up, Danny's is acting up, they're getting to that age again,
Okay.
where they're having issues, but I'd have to.
Or we do, yeah, let's get with Lori and see what we're doing. We might be doing an upgrade, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then leaf season, just, I'm gonna tell Karen, we're moving off the low side of town, we just got around. We're gonna be going up on Wednesdays, what we call Wednesday's trash route, we base everything on the trash route, so. We're gonna split the trucks up, one's gonna be going up one half on Salt Springs, the other one in Brookside, so if people ask those questions, that's the next area we're gonna hit. Trying to be a little bit more responsive to people, to know where we're at, so.
You're keeping a list of where they are these days, right?
I
So
got
write
it
it down.
Okay, good, because that's exactly, so when I get a phone call, I say, okay, I'm gonna check with you, and then I'll get back to you. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
And how about the new
Says no
trees?
fabians.
They're in or they're not in yet?
The trees have been planted.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in.
Okay.
It's like every year, it comes in November, so we gotta take some crews out to get that done, so the
Right.
trees have been done.
No, I knew we paid for them now and we.
I think we need to look at, or have the tree commission, I think the village of Manlius and town worked together and had a big thing where they went out planting trees this weekend, or something happened up there, so.
Okay.
Maybe get some more involvement with, it's not that DPW, we don't mind doing it, it's just, it's always at the worst time of the year for leaf season for us. And we
Right.
have to take guys off to crews to get and plant trees.
Right.
There was only 12 this year, so it went pretty easily, but that's the big thing.
Okay.
And then we have our annual Onondaga County Okra agreement that we need authorization for the mayor to sign with approval of council. And again, let's remember that the tipping fees are going up $5 per ton, and that there'll be $34 new charge per ton for recycling, effective immediately. So please remember that. So I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Need a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, round table. Pam?
Well, mine is, part of the village tree thing for, after Thanksgiving, I have a group. Is 8 too big to have for, they
8?
want 2 bases, 2 tenors?
Nope,
2
8 is fine.
It is good,
8
okay.
is fine. But it's the 23rd.
It's not, it's the 23rd, it's not after Thanksgiving.
Oh, it's not gonna be on Friday?
No, it's,
No,
our meeting
remember
night.
we're videotaping it?
Oh, I got you. No, I knew that. Sorry.
So literally when we're done, the
It-
camera's
it's
on, but it's supposed to be a
before.
surprise. But when we're done, we're going right over there and do a ceremony.
Got it, yeah, I knew that.
8 is fine, because it's just gonna be the 5 of us. That'll be 13, senior center, 2, yeah, we'll be fine.
Mayor, so if I can interject with this holiday lighting. Hanukkah.
I haven't heard from Rabbi at all.
Okay.
So I don't know if he's scared with the.
We'll still set it up.
I still
with
set
you,
it up, yeah.
But I just
I have not heard
find
from
out any
Rabbi.
information
Yeah.
from him, because sometimes he calls me or you, so.
Yeah. Thank you
And-
for reminding me, I haven't heard from him.
And the group should be in the middle, in
Yes, we're gonna
Veterans
get
Park,
the 2
right?
stages up there. We're gonna finally get to use 2 of them, and then
Yeah.
we'll put them up there. Anything else, Ben?
No,
Dan?
Yeah, congratulations to the fire department, Halloween decorations, overall winner, to the municipal building with the recreation committee with pumpkins, and the senior center with Caduce. So that was great, and it just happened to be all the, and an honorable mention to the town of Manlius. Next, we have a resident who's lived here for, not in the village for 62 years or so, but he's lived on Wheeler and in the village for many, many years. And Phil Rudolph, did you have him in school?
I did, I
Okay.
did.
Phil Rudolph, he just won his 500th tennis match. Well, he didn't, his teams did. And I've been a coach for a long time. 500 is out of my reach for, I'm lucky if we won a couple games a year, but.
Let's do a
But
proclamation.
anyway, I'd like to.
Let's do a proclamation.
I'd like to sort of put something in the minutes, congratulating Phil. And, of course, he's gonna say it was all because of the kids, it had nothing to do with him. It was a real nice article in the paper, and Phil's a good guy. He lives up, I thought he'd moved, but he lives up on Redfield. I went there to have him sign my petition, and he said, "Do not enter," so. And he had my name written underneath.
Okay, thank you. Mike?
I have nothing, I'm good.
Lori?
Oh, was I done? Okay.
I didn't know you, wow.
I don't know if this is a bad thing to ask you. You just, earlier, you said November 23rd, you want them to come back with their development?
Yes.
Is that absolute, or could we actually put that to the first meeting in December? Only because of timing, and you're gonna do tree lighting at a certain time, and it's just before a holiday. It seems like this always falls right around a holiday for these developments, and I just know that people, I'm just asking.
Okay. Yeah, we can consider that, absolutely.
Okay. That was it, that's all
Okay.
I did have one more thing. Ted, with the IMA, they do that, and then Mark is just gonna sign it, right? For the deer?
We approved them.
Yes,
just did, yeah.
right.
So we don't have to do anything further. And I just want to point out, we are having a deer meeting, a joint deer meeting tomorrow night with the town of Manlius and us.
Okay. Good. Ted, anything? No? I just had the tree lighting, so that'll be after our meeting at the 23rd. And we're all set. We have that videotaped and that'll be posted. Anybody in the audience have any questions? With that, we'll have an executive session for advice of counsel to include the fire chief, and we will be discussing advice of counsel and personnel matter. Also
So
Lori
moved.
and Ted. Moved by Mike, need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So Lori, we have to put this
You're-
up.
Casey,
I'll be right back.
your address is, I know it's Margot, right?
113 Brookside,
Oh, okay.
Brookside.
facing the camera.
So we've given them a list of things that we're concerned about, and as long as it's 14 feet or 5 of it.
And then I guess
But
the other
our
thing is,
big-
we had a village tree that had to go down a long time ago.
Because if they need that driveway, they think that driveway.
And I know there's probably a big demand
I've got
on
to
your
go all the way
trees.
to the back. So now I
If
gotta bring
we
this pipe.
wanted to, can we use that spot and buy our
We've been looking at the building.
I believe so, but I'd probably just want the, like Leslie, the tree commission, whoever, to say whatever tree you pick out is good for that spot too. You know, like you mutually would agree to, you know,
Sure.
like that. I don't see a problem with that. I would just, probably just get it approved here if you decide to do something like that.
The other,
Because then it would become,
Husband-
like a village tree.
okay, so we
And
buy it,
then-
but you own it.
But then, yeah, see, I'm only thinking out loud, but I don't,
Trees, are you picking native trees? You know?
I believe they pick trees that do well in this particular area, yes, I don't know.
Maybe I should just
Yeah.
ask Leslie?
Yeah,
Okay.
she would know more about the
I
tree
think her
selection.
email is on the roster.
I can always, do you wanna give me your email and I can always have her
Sure,
get use your
Casey?
Yeah, so part of our other problem.
CLEARY?
The way the driveway was, I couldn't get insurance.
At Gmail?
Few of the vehicles, I wouldn't be able to get. it.
Okay, yeah, and I'll talk to her about looking about the pruning. You know, she can do a drive-by, maybe she
We
can
were
just,
just looking at it, and I'm like, I think we should do it here, but then we started looking at it from all these different angles, and I'm like,
no, we planted a tree at our funeral home in Manoa, and like the top is going like this, and I need somebody that knows what they're doing to look at it to
yes,
see.
and it's gonna be.
I agree with you.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
You going in there?
Yeah, please, thank you.
Sure. I think she turned it off. Temporarily.
No, she couldn't sign us.
So I guess, I forgot you were in executive session, so I was different time.
Oh, we may not be very long at all.
Oh, really? Okay. I'll wait.
Okay.
Yeah, because it would be great if we.
If
just-
it's quick, that's why I said if we're quick from there, because I have to put a kid to bed.
Okay, okay. Hi, hi. I'm gonna, hang. Well, this is. Do you think the cameras, are you any good at this stuff? I don't know, do you think they're live streaming during this time or not? No, I think they turned it off. I think Lori was in charge of it. I thought she did too.
I think it'd be better to be not this room.
What's that?
I think it'd be better not to talk in this room,
Why? Can't, oh,
'cause I don't know if it's really on.
I'm happy to step out.
So I think this is.
Need a motion to come out of executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I'd like to, we need a motion to go ahead and approve Nate Baker for a 6-month leave of absence for a medical issue, starting January 5th and going 6 months with updates as soon as possible.
So moved.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And then the last thing was, we put up some signs on Warren and
Orchard,
Clinton. And it was like, kids play safe. We put it on the people like it where we put it, but the intent was to put it one block or
Over.
down and over. I think it was supposed to be on Warren and we put it on Clinton. So all I'm asking is that we just
Add
approve
a
an
sign.
additional sign to stop them on Warren Street to slow them down. So kids at play.
So moved.
There's people
Second.
in, second, people in Brookside, like a
Yeah,
couple of those.
let us know and we
Yeah,
Pam
well,
here.
we
can
did
do it.
before.
Yeah.
Dr. Riccardi.
I thought there was one right there near the park. One.
2 or 3, yeah, but they wanted
Hey,
2 or 3.
We got to move in,
Came
Mike
When you
approved,
came in,
or
Dr.
Mike
Riccardi,
and
you
Pam.
Go either way on Saturday.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thank
Need a
you.
motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Dan, seconded by Mike. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you all. Do you have to go get your kid? Or do you have time, or you want?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Is Casey here? She's not
We'll
in
go
the
in my
room.
office.
She's not here.
Next one. Oh.
So these recordings
Okay,
that
thanks.
available for subsequent review,
Yeah.
you'll save them in some
Oh,
electronic
they're on,
library.
they were saved in boxes.
Huh?
Just saved, they were on YouTube.
I don't need Casey, I just need review, so.
Oh, she said that she.
No, I said